Hey everyone! Welcome back to my channel. Today I have for you another book haul. So I have acquired several more books. So I'm going to try to break this up into talking about special edition books first, and then talking about books that I was sent so kindly by the publishers. And then we'll talk about some books I've just bought for myself because I'm so excited for them. So let's get right into it. Yes, I'm still filming on the floor in my bedroom, so hopefully the library will be done soon, and this will be the last week of videos you will see with me sitting on the floor. So starting with the special edition books, I did sign up for the Goldsboro Fantasy Book subscription box, which is a monthly book subscription, and it always comes with a book that is one that sometimes I've never heard of, which is kind of fun because maybe this is a way for me to get a little bit outside of my comfort zone and maybe check out some books I really wouldn't have picked up otherwise. So the couple of books that I've received so far from them include The Witch and the Tsar by Olesya Salnikova-Gilmore. And this is a Russian-inspired fantasy story, and I believe it is like a retelling of the Baba Yaga legend, and I just think that this edition is so stunning. They all come like plastic wrapped, which is very fancy, and then these sprayed edges are gorgeous. And then on the inside, you can see the end papers are adorable. And then, is there anything on the... Oh yeah, look at that. The naked hardcover is so pretty. Oh wow, on both front and back. So this is just a stunning, stunning edition, and I am very excited to check it out. I've heard if you like The Bear and the Nightingale, that this could really appeal to you. So very excited to give this one a try. So this was their January book pick, and then their February one was Shield Maiden by Sharon Emmerichs. This is another one that I had not heard of at all before, and so I was very excited to receive it, check it out. I believe it is a King Arthur retelling, and I am not super familiar with the original King Arthur story, so retellings for me, I'm not going to be critiquing them based on accuracy or anything like that. I'm just here for a good fantasy fun ride. So if this book delivers on that, then I will be happy. This is one I've heard does read a little bit younger than the typical adult fantasy book. So I'm going in with expectations that this would be maybe a good bridge book between YA and adult, and is going to be a little bit more fast-paced, hopefully. And again, just such a gorgeous cover. The sprayed edges have the cool swords, and then if you look on the inside, it's got this cool shield on the naked hardcover. So another really gorgeous edition. I'm a big fan so far of their editions. And then this one just sounded so gorgeous and does not sound like something that's typically my comfort zone, but I'm willing to try it. It's called The Book of Eve by Meg Clothier. So again, this is one I had not heard anything about. I think it's a little bit more historical fantasy. I also think that this one isn't going to take place in a made-up world. I think this is one that takes place in our world. It just sounded quite different, so I'm intrigued. And the cover, I just can't pass it up. It was such a stunning book, and those edges are so beautiful. I love them so much. And then it is signed by the author, as well as has some really pretty end papers. And then, okay, this one does not have anything on the hardcover, but regardless, it is such a gorgeous edition, so I'm very excited to give this one a try. So those were the 3 Goldsboro books that I've received so far for January through March. A couple of other special editions that I've received. So I did get the February Fairy Loot adult book, which was The Adventures of Amina Al-Sarafi by Shannon Chakraborty, which is one of my most anticipated books of the entire year. I know that this is from the same author as The City of Brass, the Daevabad trilogy, which is the trilogy I'm reading right now. I'm in the middle of Kingdom of Copper. So I was really, really excited to hear that this was the Fairy Loot pick. And wow, they knocked it out of the park with the edition. It is one of the most beautiful books I own. And the sprayed edges, truly, I just cannot get over them. They really, really outdid themselves with this edition. I mean, the end papers are stunning. And then on the inside is just the most gorgeous foiling. Oh my gosh. So I'm just so impressed. And I was a little bit nervous because I love the US edition of this book so much. So when I saw that Fairy Loot was doing their own cover for it, I was like, oh, I hope I like it as much as I like the US cover. And I gotta say, I mean, I still love the US cover, and if I love this book, I might have to still get the US cover because it's so pretty. But this did not disappoint. This is like so stunning on a whole nother level. So very excited about that one. I also received from Fairy Loot, I had bought this so long ago that I had almost forgotten about it, and it is The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches by Sangu Mundana, and I've heard incredible things about this book. I've heard it's very cozy, fits into that cozy fantasy genre, so I am very curious to check it out, and I really, really like the sprayed edge here. I think that's really pretty. And the inside also has a fun little naked hardcover surprise. So I'm very excited for this one. I like the US cover, but I liked the UK one just a little bit more. So I'm really excited to have this, and hopefully I can get to it sometime soon. Maybe I will do like a cozy fantasy vlog or something like that. Let me know if you'd be interested in seeing something like that. I do feel like I'm seeing a lot of those. So if it's, you know, something you're not interested in, let me know. But anyways, the last special edition I have, I think, yes, is actually from Owlcrate. And I've never purchased anything from Owlcrate, but I saw these editions that they did, and I couldn't help myself. I don't have hardcovers of these editions. And so when I saw these, I'm just going to tell you what they are. It is Strange the Dreamer and Muse of Nightmares by Laini Taylor with the sprayed edge. And I missed out on my opportunity to get the UK hardcovers. So I have the paperbacks that are those UK covers, and I really don't like the US hardcovers. And I'm sad that I only had paperbacks for what is one of my favorite like YA fantasy duologies. And so when I saw these announced, I just couldn't help myself. I think they are absolutely beautiful. And now I'm so happy to say that I have like one of my favorite duologies in such gorgeous editions on my shelf, and I can get rid of those other paperbacks that I wasn't a huge fan. Oh my gosh, it comes with a bookmark? I didn't even know. This is so pretty. That just fell out of the book. I don't know how I didn't see that before. And then you have the gorgeous end papers as well as the naked hardcover on the inside. And there's a reversible jacket with the character artwork. And then each of them have a quote from the book on the back. So it's just really special, and I'm really, really happy to have them. And then I will show you the other one. So this one I saw. I did not see the other one. I love them. Here are the end papers on the other one. And then, oh, I love this artwork. And then there's the naked hardcover and the quote on the back. So I'm just so excited. Oh, they're so pretty. I'm just gonna stare at them. And when I reread these, I will reread them out of these editions because they're so pretty and it'll make me happy. Okay, now let's talk about books that were sent to me by the publishers. So the first one I have to share is Paradise 1 by David Wellington. This is one I got from Orbit, and I was not expecting it to be this humongous. It is very long. It's over 600 pages, and it is like very large, but the print isn't super small. So at least it has that going for it. And this is one I do have to read very, very soon because it's available this month, April, it drops, and it sounded great. It's a sci-fi horror. That's a genre I'm really wanting to sink my teeth into, get a little bit more into, because I really loved, oh, what was the other one called? The one last year that came out that, gosh darn it, if I had all my books, I would remember. It was the one with the like haunted Titanic ship, but in space. I forget what it's called. I will find the cover and I will put it here. So I'm kind of looking for something like that. And Paradise 1 sounded a little bit similar to that, where it says, Paradise 1 is Earth's first deep space colony. For thousands of people, it was an opportunity for a new life until it went dark. No communication has been received from the colony for months, and it falls to Firewatch agent Alexandra Petrova and the crew of the Artemis to investigate. What they find is more horrifying than they could have imagined. So kind of sounds like a similar premise, and I'm very much here for it. So I'm very excited to check this one out. I just wasn't expecting it to be so large. So that's okay. I can get down with a big book. That's fine. The other one I got from Orbit was The Sword Defiant by Gareth Hanrahan. And I have another book by this author that I really have been wanting to try called The Gutter Prayer. I've heard amazing things about that book. And this is actually a new fantasy book that the author has come out with, and it sounded so good. It says, set in a world of dark myth and dangerous prophecy, The Sword Defiant launches an epic tale of daring warriors, living weapons, and bloodthirsty vengeance. It's one of those, I think, like classic feeling epic fantasies, and I'm just so here for it. It just sounds so good. So very excited to check this one out. It is available next month, May of 2023. So I have a little bit of time to read this one, but I would love to read it at least next month when it's supposed to release, so that I can hopefully let you know if it's worth picking up. So that is another one. And then the next one I have is The Judas Blossom by Stephen Arian. And this is from Angry Robot. And this is one that is once again on my most anticipated release list. And I've read The Warrior and the Coward from this author, and I enjoyed them. I had a lot of fun with them. They weren't new favorites or anything like that, but I definitely have been wanting to check out more Stephen Arian, and I have his first book in the Battle Mage series. I think it's called Battle Mage. And so I saw that this was his newest series and was so excited about it. It sounds fantastic. It's a historical fantasy series that intertwines magic with Persian culture. And it says it's perfect for fans of the Poppy War, love, Joe Abercrombie, love, and the David Bud trilogy. I'm reading it right now and I'm really enjoying it. So those comps, I feel like you can't go wrong. It sounds great. So I'm really, really excited to check it out. This one does not come out though until July. So I do have a little bit of time, but I would love to read it before that month of July, so that, again, hopefully I can just let you know if it's worth checking out. The last one I have from the publisher is The Last Word by Taylor Adams. This is one I'm starting tonight. I'm so excited. I have seen amazing early reviews from this, and it sounds like a reverse misery where you have an author who is starting to see readers put out like bad reviews of his book, and he acts sketchy about it. So I'm like very curious about this one, and I've heard it's very crazy. So I'm so here for it. I love a good wild ride of a thriller, and it seems very short. I really, really, really loved No Exit. So I'm thinking this might be 5 stars. This could be a 5-star prediction right here. I think I'm gonna call it. I think I'm gonna give this 5 stars. I am so excited for it. Now the rest of them are all books that I have bought myself, and I'm gonna start with books I've already read so that we can just get those out of the way. The Worst Best Man by Mia Sosa. This is an adult romance. It's cute. It was fun while I was reading it, but I would say it's not the most memorable romance that I've read. It didn't do anything necessarily groundbreaking, but it was a fun time. It follows a character who is about to get married, gets left behind at the altar, and apparently the best man is the groom's brother. And apparently it was the best man, the brother character, who talked the guy out of the wedding. So our main character is super angry at him, and they have a little bit of an enemies to lovers situation going on. So I thought it was fun. Again, I think I gave it 3 stars. It was cute while I was reading it, but then I, finished it and was like, okay, ready for the next thing. And then the next one I have is The Bitter Twins by Jen Williams, one that I just finished, and I haven't shared any thoughts in any video about it, so I'm not going to say too much here, but this is the sequel to The Ninth Reign by Jen Williams, which is one I really, really enjoyed. I was super excited to go into the sequel. It is very, very unique world building, has some creepy horror elements to it, has the animal companion trope, has a lot of really fascinating fantasy creatures and races, and it's just very different from anything else you will have read in the genre, in a good way. So I will keep my thoughts to myself for now until I have some upcoming videos featuring them. And then I also have The Drift by CJ Tudor, which is one I read last month for my patron pick. Each month my patrons get to suggest a book for me to read. I will randomly select one of their suggestions, and The Drift won last month, and I was not a huge fan of this, unfortunately. It is like dystopian horror thriller featuring like the end of the world apocalypse type thing, and that's just not my favorite thing to read about. It was quite gruesome, and the characters were a little bit generic. I think I gave it like 3 stars, which might have been a little bit generous. There was a twist that was, I think, okay. It was like clever, but I think it just lacked in a lot of other things. So I was not a huge fan of this, unfortunately, but it is a cool cover. So it's got that going for it. And then the other one that I've already read is The Housemaid by Frida McFadden, another one that is a patron pick for this month, and one I haven't shared any thoughts on in any videos yet, so I'm going to keep them to myself for now. But this is one where you're following a woman who gets hired as a maid at this wealthy family's house, and she, the maid, has a criminal record, so she's kind of very much desperate for this job. And as the maid, she doesn't get treated great by the wife of the family that she's hired into, and things ensue from there. But that's all I'll say. Yeah, I have thoughts on this one, so keep on the lookout for upcoming videos. And then the rest of them I haven't read yet. I will hopefully read soon. Kingdom of Copper by S.A. Chakraborty. I've already started this. I'm about 50 pages in, and I'm really enjoying it. I really enjoyed City of Brass when I read it, and I'm so far really enjoying Kingdom of Copper. There is a time jump from City of Brass to Kingdom of Copper, and I wasn't bothered by the time jump. I think so far it works for me. And I just really love these characters in this world, and the politics is a little bit confusing, but I'm starting to be able to follow, I think, who likes who dislikes who. So I'm excited to keep going with this series. I also grabbed Tyrons Throne by Sebastian de Castell, which is one I so badly want to have time to read this month because I am loving the Greatcoat series. Love, love, love it. The book 2 and book 3 of Greatcoats, both 5 stars for me. This could be, if Tyrons Throne sticks the landing, this could be an all-time favorite fantasy series for me. I'm loving it. The characters are incredible. The sword fighting and just the fight scenes in general are incredible. The twists and reveals have you cheering, have you angry. It's just so good. So excited for that one. Okay, and then I got Lessons in Chemistry by Bonnie Garmis, which is one I've heard so many things about, and so many great things. And then a couple people I've seen not like it, but mostly I've seen just praise for this book. It is contemporary fiction. I don't know much more about it. I'm excited to give it a try. I think it's going to be fun. I like, in between these chunky fantasy books, I like going into these kinds of books to kind of use them as palette cleansers. So I'm really excited to check this one out. I also got The Final Strife by Sarah El Arifi. So this is one I heard Joshana, whose channel I will link down below, she loves this book and now this series because the second book is out and it's apparently great. And I am just so excited to check it out. I don't know too much about it except that she loves it. It says, the empire rules by blood. Red is the blood of the elite, of magic, of control. They are the embers. Blue is the blood of the poor, of workers, of the resistance. They are the dusters. Clear is the blood of the servants, of the crushed, of the invisible. They are the ghostings. Is that rule about to come to an end? So already, I mean, just that alone has me so intrigued by this world building. So very excited to check this one out. And I love this cover. It is so, the end papers, I didn't even notice. They're so cool. Is there one on the other side? Wow, that's so pretty. I didn't even notice that. Very excited to check this one out. And then finally, so outside of my typical genre, but I was talking to a family friend and we were talking about books, of course, as you do with whoever you can. And he loves nonfiction, like history books, which is not something that I typically reach for, but he had so much praise for this particular book and just thinks that anyone, even if you're not a nonfiction reader, not a history buff, even those people would love this book. It's called The Boys in the Boat, and it's 9 Americans and their epic quest for gold at the 1936 Berlin Olympics by Daniel James Brown. And this is one, he said that he had no interest in rowing before, could not have cared less, but this book for some reason just completely won him over, is one of his favorite books of all time. And I was like, sure, why not? I, will read anything. I will try any genre. I will try any type of story. So I'm just here for a good story. So I think that that's what this is going to deliver. So I'm really excited about it. So I'll let you know. I mean, most of you probably don't care about this genre. This is so outside of my typical genre, but I thought it sounded really good and he totally sold it to me. So I was like really excited to check it out. So those are all of the books that I picked up since the last haul. Did you see any in here that you've read before? What did you think of it? Let me know in the comments down below. And then what is one book that you've picked up recently that you are so excited to get to? Let me know in the comments down below. Thank you all so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you'd like to, and all the information for my Patreon is linked down below if you are interested in learning more about how to support the channel. So thank you all so much, and I will see you all in my next one. Bye!